Welcome back to the Little Ozzy Show. Little Ozzy is a tribute band out of Florida, and you can check us out at littleozzybites.com. Today we got a special guest, Jeff Carlson from the Jeff Carlson Band from Las Vegas. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing great, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
Man, I'm so glad that we got Sam Bone got us hooked up with a lot of your musician friends and some of the bands that are on. It's RFS, correct? Records.
RFL Records, yeah.
Man, what a trip! How did that happen for you? First, let me go back because let's find out who Jeff Carlson is. Where are you from? How old were you when you got into music?
Well, I'm originally from Springfield, Missouri, and West Plains, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. It's all in the Missouri area, and I was actually about 11 after I saw my first Ozzy concert on the Dire of a Madman tour. Wow. 2 weeks after Randy died, man. I was so little, I didn't really know what happened till after the fact, but to this day, it was the loudest, clearest concert I've ever heard, dude. It was so badass.
Wow, I can imagine. See, I missed it. I never got to see it.
It was great.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. They were coming to the Richmond Coliseum when I was in Virginia, where I grew up, and I just remember hearing that and hearing, wow, man. I remember being with my father. He had a sad job at night he did where he cleaned up like a doctor's office, and he was like, I was like 13, and he said, son, did you hear Randy Rhoads and some of the band members from Ozzy's band just died in a plane crash? And I was like, wow. Sadly enough, that's when I really became really interested in him. I really didn't know a whole lot about him, before. I knew who Black Sabbath was, but, we didn't have the internet back then and everybody telling us, and YouTube.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It took a while, man. Yep. So tell me all about your gig, man.
Well, basically, I started off releasing 3 singles and an EP on the Atomic Records label, which is a buddy of mine. It basically it was a distribution thing more than anything, and it was my buddy Mike Bailey. He was a drummer for Bret Michaels, and he owns the label. Him and Pete Evick, they both owned it, and Mike took it over, and then I just signed on with John from RFL, and Sam was instrumental in that. She's always supported me, and I got to give her props for helping me out with that.
She's a good person, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
She really is. Now, what about John, man? Tell me how that is in distribution, and who is he? I don't even know.
He's a really cool guy, man. He's awesome. He's got RFL. He's got some great acts on his label. I think After the Fall was on their Voodoo 13. There's some good bands on his label, and he's really working hard trying to get us out there and be heard and seen. And he's all over the world. I mean, he's got distribution everywhere, and I think he just got one from Canada recently too. Plus, he does hard copies. Not only does he do, digital download, but he does hard copies too, which is really cool. That helps out too,
That's awesome, man. Do they do vinyl?
Yeah.
I guess he could do vinyl if you want.
Well, probably. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but I know it's coming back, so I'm sure that will be an avenue that will be pursued. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, how old are you, Jeff?
I'm 40. I just turned 49 2 days ago.
Wow. So we're about the same age. So you went through the 80s, and did you grow up in L.A.?
Actually, I grew up in Missouri. And it's funny because I moved to Vegas in like '98, I think it was. And out here in Vegas, man, you see everybody. It's crazy. You can see. I'm sorry, '97 it was, not a '98. But anyway, my wife just reminded me. Anyway, but no, man, it's cool, man, because I totally am friends with the guys I grew up with now because of being in the industry for so long and everything. Right. So it's really cool, man. Frank Annon's a buddy of mine. He's actually going to record. I'm going to release a remake of Tupac's Hero here pretty soon. And he's going to lay the lead down for it.
That was the first song that inspired me to even be in a band.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
right on.
I was like, wow. My father took me to see the 404 concert, and Mick, what's his name? Mick, the guitar.
Yeah, Mick Jones. Yeah.
Mick Jones busted
Great
up
player.
on Blue Morning, Blue Day.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh my God, I want to do that so bad.
It was so killer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. But you know, Frank Hannon, I had the opportunity to play with them in Kansas City, Missouri.
Right on.
Yeah, with Queensryche Tesla. And I was in a little Kiss tribute band back then. And Frank Hannon was probably one of the coolest guys. Him and their bass player.
Brian Wheat.
Wheat. They hung out in our dressing room the whole time.
Sweet.
Frank was calling my friends up, and you know they were telling me stories about Firehouse, because one of my close friends is Bill Everty from Firehouse in Richmond, whom my guitar player is recording his debut CD with. And
right on.
Yeah, he was like, Chesterfield, Virginia, Chesterfield. They call that like Arrestafield, and he knew every slogan. He knew where the courthouse was because they had spent like 2 weeks broke down or on a vacation tour there in Chesterfield with at Mike Foster's house with all them, and they had like a 2-week party. They were telling me back in the '80s, and I was like, that is too cool. So Frank Hannon, he remembers me. If you just ask him Mini Kiss, and you let him know that I said hello and that I'm doing a little Ozzy now, because what a great guy!
Yeah,
what an inspiration!
Oh yeah, he's really cool, man. Yeah, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah. It is amazing, you know, what you said too about how we kind of come full circle. You know, we get older. I look back and being in the industry now, and you know, we go play a casino in Iowa, and Nelson's on there the next week, or you know, we go here, and there's another band, and Steel Panther, and we're hitting the same venues, and it's like, wow, man, it's amazing how we kind of just they came down, and we kind of came right up, and we're all in the middle now. And I've never met so many of my heroes, and I'm just so grateful and blessed for that, you know.
Oh, me too, brother. Me too, man. Yeah. You know, I just played with Firehouse at the Whiskey in July of this year.
Did you?
And Michael Foster's one of the coolest guys ever. Him and Bill Everty. Bill Everty's cool, too.
They are great people, man.
Yeah. CJ's cool, too. It's just, I didn't get a chance to talk to him too much, but I talked to Michael and Bill. They're sweet guys, man. They're great players.
Yeah, incredible people. They've been together since they were teenagers.
Yeah. Great band, that is.
So, how old were you when you started? What got you started on all this, man?
Randy Rhoads. He was my hero. Him and Gary Richrath were my two guitar heroes, man. From Mario, the original lead guitar player.
Oh, yeah. I
Dude, he's him and Dave Manichetti are one of the reasons I play a Sunburst Les Paul.
Yeah, I was going to say that. He was the guy that played the cool leads and looked cool with the curly hair. That played the Les Paul.
They what?
He played the Les Paul in all the videos.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, man. Those guys are awesome. I saw Y&T on the Rock We Trust tour when I was in Memphis. I used to live in Memphis. Saw a lot of great shows there at the Midtown Coliseum, man. Yeah,
and I was fortunate enough to open up for Y&T and meet those guys in Modesto, California at X-Fest years back.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, I got to open for them a couple of years ago in Tucson. I lived in Tucson for almost 10 years and got to open for Y&T. There's a ton of bands I got to be. Actually, that's where I first met Frank Hannon, was in Tucson.
How cool.
Yeah, he actually got me up and I sang Modern Day Cowboy with him, man. It was like
that's a tough one, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Storming night on the Big Mac sky. I don't think I can do it. I couldn't do the high part. No way.
I just got to doing a whole show with Frank about a month ago. I flew up to Sacramento and I did a whole set of Tesla, dude. We opened with Coming At You Live. And
how cool. He was a big Randy fan, man.
All hits, man.
You know? He was a big Randy fan.
Oh, big time. Yeah, he did an interview with Dolores, his mom.
I saw that. And he showed her how he took Pieces of D for the beginning, the intro of Love Song. And
totally.
It really, really is cool, man. I got goosebumps, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never wanted to be Ozzy, but I loved Randy, and I've always felt the connection. And, you know, I went out and did a show for Spike one time, Tattoo Nightmares, and I was in Burbank, and I was bored, and I thought, wonder how far I am from Randy's grave or Musoni. I just want to go there and get a blade of grass or something from, you know, where Randy walked, and, you know, something that really. So I was a mile from there, and I went, and it was 9 in the evening, and there was a little light on, and I knocked on the door, and Kelly answered the door, his brother, and this has been 4 years ago. And
wow.
He said, "Who are you?" And I was still dressed in my Ozzy garb, and the guy behind him was on a ladder, and he went, "That's little Ozzy." And he went, "You know him? Come on in." And he spent 2.5 hours with me by myself.
Dude, that's awesome.
And showed me things, gave me gifts. And it was just an amazing experience, and we become friends, and we talk, every few months, and it's amazing that, we're very blessed to be doing what we do, brother.
Oh yeah, I remember I went to New York City one time, and I think it was 1985. I was like 14 at the time, and I went to a pawn shop, and I seeked out one of their first. I found one of their first Japanese releases, man. It was an import. It was
Quite
nice
Right.
to have it. Yeah, no, it was Quite Right. Yeah, Quite Right. Just because of Randy,
Wow.
Yeah, he was my hero, dude. There's him and there's everybody else. I used to just love that guy.
I know, right? It's so true. Well, your new album, man. I checked you out. I listened to your music. How cool!
Thanks,
how
bro.
driving, freaking heavy metal, dude.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah, we have a lot of influences, but we try to make it our own sound, as much as we can.
Oh yeah, you got it down. Well, tell us about your plans. Is there a tour coming up? What's your website? Where can our listeners check you out?
Just go to JeffCarlsonBand.com. That's our website. We're in the process right now of recording a new record, probably another 5-song EP, and we'll probably have that finished and released by the end of January. And we've got one show coming up January 11th out here at Count Stamped.
Nice.
That's a great club, man. That's a really great club.
Is it really?
Several times.
Yeah, you need to send me that contact, man. I'd love to get out there.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey Coker, she's Danny Coker's wife. She books there.
Nice.
But yeah, no. But yeah, we're playing that right now. That's all we've got. But we are working on more shows, and it costs a tour. If we could do something to where we could make back a little money and not have to, come out of pocket or whatever too much, why I would, I'd be up for doing something, eventually.
It's a tough thing, man. Right now, I mean, I'm very lucky that, my gimmick is, my niche rather than a gimmick is that I'm short, and that there is a demand for Ozzy's music, because if I was writing music, man, I don't know that I could even think about making a living like that.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you got to almost have a song take off somewhere.
But you got an advantage, man. You're on a great label, man. You're in Vegas. You know a lot of people, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so very much, brother. I appreciate that very much.
Tell us about the song we're going to hear.
Are we playing "Screaming Inside"?
Yes.
Yeah, man. That's our latest single release. Basically, I've got Crohn's disease, and I almost died.
Oh, whoa, dude.
2001, I think it was.
Man.
And it was one of those things where after I got healing and got feeling better, I kind of wrote that song and then re-recorded it here this year with a more updated production.
Hey, let me ask you a personal question, man.
Yeah.
I have 4 beautiful daughters, man, and I was married for years, and their mother developed Crohn's disease when she was 6 months pregnant with my youngest daughter.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
When you think you're dying like that and stuff, what are your thoughts on God?
Dude, I'm a straight up Christian. I mean, we pray before every show, every rehearsal. Not to sound like goody or anything, but that's just, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have my wife, and I wouldn't have my life. I wouldn't have my daughter, wouldn't have anything. So he basically saved me so I could go on to be in the position I'm at now, which is really, I'm just thankful for, man. I'm just, we're not trying to preach or anything, that's...
Man, it's so good and fresh here. People don't realize that, there's a lot of people in the industry out here that are born again on fire for Christ. I've been washed in the blood, brother, and I've been delivered to so many things in my life, and I have the most wonderful woman in my life, and and so many blessings, and I attribute all of my success and everything as gain, you know, through Christ. And I think it's important to talk like that, and I'm very glad to hear that from you, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah,
it's amazing.
You know, that's what I was going to tell you. As tongue in cheek as this is, that's one of the few things that I didn't like about seeing Ozzy when I was 11 or whatever, is he came out of the stage with like this 3-foot, you know, cross, right? This big wooden cross, and he slung it across the stage. And I thought, damn, dude, that's a little borderline disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's all shtick, you know, don't get me wrong. But
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it's good to really delve into his teachings and realize that, you know, nothing in itself is bad. It's what comes out of. If he's throwing that cross and he's thinking about, screw you, you know, you know, it's a difference. But, you know, if I'm throwing a cross, man, it's a piece of wood, man. It has nothing to do with what's going on. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing.
He probably didn't even give it a second thought to it, but anything to create controversy, you know.
He was good at that back then, right? And now if you're a Christian, you're creating controversy. How about that?
Oh, yeah, I know,
right?
I know.
Love it.
Oz Fox is a buddy of mine out here from Striper. He's really cool. All those guys are so cool.
How about that, man?
Yeah.
I interviewed Oz Fox on the show a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's really
How's
cool.
he doing?
Michael's really cool. Robert, he's really cool. I mean, those guys are just awesome. It's funny they're playing with Perry Richardson now from Firehouse.
How crazy is that? You know, my stepson to be is a tremendous songwriter. He just turned 18. And
awesome.
His influencers are like Tremonti, Stone Temple Pilots. He writes the most beautiful songs. So, you know, it's amazing because now check this out. This is how everything runs full circle. We're sitting there when we started it. We got Tim Gaines coming in to do some bass. We're at Bill Leverty's house recording it. And
you're at where?
We're at Bill Leverty's house recording.
Oh, okay.
We got Tim Gaines for some perspective bass before he finishes the CD as guest. And we're sitting in Bill Leverty's house with ex-Stripers bass player who is now ex-Firehouse's bass player is now their bass player, Perry Richardson. I mean, how weird is that? Is that a coincidence? Or is that like, whoa?
It's a small world.
It is.
And you know, the older we get, man, in our business, it gets even smaller. You know?
I know. I kind of like it.
Wow. Everybody, yeah, me too. Everybody knows everybody, don't they?
They do.
It's crazy.
Well, Jeff, I want to thank you so much, man. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, brother.
You got it together,
so much,
man.
bro.
I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Oh, thank you. Maybe we'll do some shows together, man. I'd love to.
We were trying to get out there. We got a few inquiries from Seattle and possibly some Arizona. So we're going to try to make like a 2 or 3 week run, probably in spring. So definitely keep in touch because we'll be coming back that way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And, awesome, man.
I would love
you got it, bro.
Yep. So the Jeff Carlson Band. Next up,
thank you.
We're going to hear Screaming on the Inside. Thank you, Jeff. Hold on, buddy.
You bet. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you.